Hi, my name is Elias Basabe, founder of Little Maria's Cafe restaurant in West Houston, located in 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Here you will find a family-friendly and relaxed environment where you can enjoy a delicious homemade breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We know you need to get to work fast, and we want you to enjoy a tasty, quality, and healthy homemade food. So come and visit us for a great nutritious meal at an affordable price. We specialize in tasty breakfasts, deli sandwiches, fish, even barbecue cookouts. Little Maria's Cafe has it all. We only use the great quality of birds head meats and products. Just like you, we love to get you up early. Little Maria's Cafe is open from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can dine in with us during breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or we can have it ready for you for pickup. Visit us today on the first floor of the CMPC Center at 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Order now at 832-667-8376.
Broadcasting live from Houston, from the space city to the world. You are watching NowMedia Television.
Hey, welcome to Biz Talk TV. I'm your business guide, Michael Rager. Thanks for joining us today. Man, this is an exciting day. We've got some great guests, and we're really going to be talking about what's going on in the business world and how we can help. You know, we're coming up on the end of the year, and there's a lot of end-of-year struggles in business. I mean, it just happens. It just happens. We get employees that they're kind of losing motivation. I saw one of the funny memes today on Facebook, and I was looking, and it was a guy cracking a beer, and he said, "Problem? That sounds like something for 2023. So we got to go ahead and help our team stay focused and do what we got to do. So this time of year, one of the things we got to do is just make sure everybody feels appreciated. You know, we're all grateful what's going on. We've come off a year. There's been no major COVID stuff. Everything's cleaned up. We're kind of back in business the way we were, and we want to keep it going and moving. You know, we had some inflation. We had this stuff. Things have just changed, and it's the world as we are. And as business owners, we know the one thing that's constant is change. And you know, we've got to go ahead and plan for it. We just got to plan and be our best. So we're going to talk today about how to become better business owners, the things we need to do to become better business owners, and how to treat our people better so we have a successful end to the new year. Michael Rager, your business guide, and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Elias Basabe, founder of Little Maria's Cafe restaurant in West Houston, located in 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Here you will find a family-friendly and relaxed environment where you can enjoy a delicious homemade breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We know you need to get to work fast, and we want you to enjoy a tasty, quality, and healthy homemade food. So come and visit us for a great nutritious meal at an affordable price. We specialize in tasty breakfasts, deli sandwiches, fish, even barbecue cookouts. Little Maria's Cafe has it all. We only use the great quality of birds head meats and products. Just like you, we love to get you up early. Little Maria's Cafe is open from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can dine in with us during breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or we can have it ready for you for pickup. Visit us today on the first floor of the CMPC Center at 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Order now at 832-667-8376, Little Maria's Cafe.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. This is Michael Rager, your business guide. I'm so excited to have Dr. Susan Mancy as our guest. She's coming in live via Zoom. Dr. Mancy, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much.
Oh man, we had a little bit of chance to chat before this and get to know each other. You know, being a doctor, I'm just going to get right into it. Being a doctor, you learn everything about your craft and everything you want to do. But you get out and they send you out in the world. What's the biggest struggle that you had once you received your degree and started your own business?
Yeah, so when I first got out of got into the world of practicing after training, I was a intern, a resident, fellow, and then you get thrown out into the big bad world, but you never have any business training when you're in medical school or residency type training. And that's like the biggest struggle for most docs in the world. Like, we're known as being terrible business people. And so a lot of people just sign up with a hospital. Okay, I'm just going to go treat patients because that's what I was trained to do. I wasn't really trained to run the business, but there is a whole business side of medicine that's been fascinating for me to learn along the way. And I signed the dotted line and worked for a hospital, and I realized, wow, this is a lot of red tape. I don't like all this red tape. I want to be able to treat the patients the way I want to treat them. And so I transitioned, and when I got back to Houston in 2012, I just kind of started from scratch, and I did my networking and figured it out. But I didn't have any formal business training. And along the way, I would always be training myself on new procedures and going to courses and continuing my continuing medical education. But I never really did the business side of it. And I just kept reading books and business books and, how to market and how to do this and how to do that. And, it's a lot of self-guided learning along the way. And currently right now, I decided, even 10 years out, there's still so much more for me to learn in running my business. How do I grow my business? How do I get out there and really make the best options for my patients so they can live the best lives possible? So I'm currently actually in business school right now at Houston Community College, where they host the Goldman Sachs 10K Small Business Program. And I've been learning so much, and I actually graduate tomorrow. So it's been a great learning experience along the way. But as a doctor, it's almost impossible to just jump out there and do it yourself unless you have the motivation and the time and the energy. It really takes a lot of energy to go forward with a business plan when all you know is medicine and what you need to do to treat patients.
Yeah, I know. As a business coach, that's one of the things I love doing. And, as we were talking, like a lot of my clients are white collar professionals like yourself. They get out there, they love what they do. My lawyers and my CPAs. You'd figure CPAs and lawyers would be good business people, but they're not. They're in their craft just like you. They're in it. They love it. They love what they do. But there's that whole other side. Last night I hosted an event in town called Whiteboards and Whiskey, and I had this young gentleman that started. He was in the oil and gas business. I was in the oil and gas business for about 20 years. He's like, Mike, I just started this business, and I didn't realize what I didn't know that I needed to know. So as you started getting in and you started building a practice and building a team, where was the hardest part for you? What was the biggest struggle in figuring out what you didn't know?
For me, I think the biggest thing is managing the team, because I'm not HR. I'm the doctor. I'm not payroll. I'm the doctor. Like, I don't know how to do accounting. I could put it in a spreadsheet, but I don't know how accurate, and, then you have the big tax man looking at you. So, you have to hire the right team. And for me, I have the most amazing team in my practice at Performance Pain and Sports Medicine, because we really have the dream team. And I am told every day by patients, by other doctors, by the reps that come in from industry, that we have the most amazing office. Performance Pain and Sports Medicine, they tell us, is the most efficiently run, amazing office to work with, because we have created that team approach. And, my office manager, Brooke, she handles so much of these things. She ran a bank for 20 years. So she does all our QuickBooks. She does all our expenses. She tries to trim the fat so that we're not just working hard and making money and then just spending it on overhead. We're trying to figure out how to maximize things from a business standpoint. But I have the right people under me, and that's what it really takes. It's a lot of hard work to find the right people, and it takes years. But once you find those right people, you need to do everything possible in your power to keep them, because if you have the right team, especially from a medical practice, you can change people's lives for the better, instead of somebody getting hung up at the front desk because they're frustrated because they can't get their insurance information correct. So it's all about the right team to make the dream.
Yeah, that's so true. It's coming in and trying to develop your leadership skills and do all the things you need to do, because we don't think about it all the time. You know, I've got a good friend out in North Carolina, Pam Tripp. She's the CEO of a healthcare organization. And I did some work to help her develop systems and processes within her organization. And that was one of the things she taught. She used to teach 21 Laws of Leadership, John Maxwell's 21 Laws of Leadership, to everybody in her team. And she used to build them up. They had a book study once a week. And it was voluntary, but what happened was those that joined this study got better. And it just rose everything. And that's what they looked at. So coming into, a new year like this, what kind of planning do you guys do to get ready for a new year to make sure that, 2023 will be better than 2022?
Yeah, so as a business owner, my partner, Dr. Matt Wiederholtz, and I, along with Brooke, my manager, we have meetings usually every month to every 6 weeks where we sit down, we review our financials, we review our processes, and we review, what needs to be done. So every month, not just necessarily a new year, but every step along the way is modified. So it continues to be the most well-oiled machine and functions in an amazing way. And so I know for 2023, everybody gets new insurance usually on the first of the year. Obviously, they sign up for then. Right now is the very end of open enrollment for people with insurance. And so day one, the day after the holiday, January 2nd, we actually aren't going to be seeing patients because we have to make sure everybody's benefits are run for that week so we can start seeing them. Otherwise, we're not even going to be able to see them the first of the year. So we have to basically do our plans and processes on that first day of the new year of the work week and plan accordingly. So that way the rest of the week and then therefore the rest of the year can run smoothly, because everybody's insurance has to be rerun to make sure all the ducks are in a row so we can treat the patient.
Wow, that's amazing. Nothing like making your difficult job just a little bit more difficult, right? So I got to wrap up here in a second. But one of the things I love to do with my clients is I set them up. We sit together. We have a 3-year plan, and then we just reverse everything, engineer into 90-day chunks so we can become successful. So I love what you're doing and how you're doing that. If you had to give, we got about a minute left. If you had to give one tip to a brand new business owner, what's the one thing you'd tell them to do?
Just get out there, be your genuine self, and hopefully you'll be able to sell yourself and your services. And, there's networking events everywhere. Just go out there and network, meet people and really work on your elevator pitch. You need to know what you do concisely. You need to know how to explain your services in the easiest language possible so that you can really explain yourself to people quickly and efficiently and get your point across. And then they want to use your services.
Yeah, no, I love it. I teach all my clients, you got 3 sentences. 3 sentences to figure out what you do, who you do it for, and how you make a difference. And that's where you go. So it's awesome to finally meet you, and I look forward to having you on the show more. I'll have to invite you out to some of the networking things we do. We got some great people, and we'd love to introduce you to them. So you have a great holiday season, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Thank you so much for letting me be here today. It's great to be involved, and can't wait to do it again.
All right. Thanks a lot, Doctor. Well, this is Michael Rager, your business guide with Biz Talk TV. We're going to be right back in just a moment.
As a critical aspect of your operations, you need the right technology partner to provide you and your business the peace of mind of having reliable and efficient IT systems. In addition, with cyber threats, ransomware at an all-time high, adequate, continuous, and proactive data protection for your business is an absolute must. Hi, this is Roland Parker with Impress Computer Solutions. We are experts in tailored IT solutions and professional 24/7 IT support services. We proactively monitor, maintain, manage, and protect your IT and data assets. Additionally, we have the know-how and horsepower to do the correct procuring of any and all computer systems or software your company may need. having the correct IT infrastructure and not being able to operate safely and correctly is very expensive and can eventually destroy growth. So take a decisive step and call me today for a complimentary consultation at 281-647-9977 for your unique IT needs.
Are you a small business owner who's overwhelmed and exhausted? You've tried many strategies, but your business just isn't where you want it to be. You wish someone would give you a roadmap to grow your business so that you can finally live the life you've imagined. Now is the time to get crystal clear on your business strategy so that you can work smarter, not harder. With our support, you can fully step into your CEO role and run your business rather than your business running you. Hi, I'm Jen Drago, award-winning strategist and business coach. I help entrepreneurs and small business owners develop a laser-focused roadmap so that they can earn more, work fewer hours, and amplify their impact. Let's face it, most of the small business advice that's available online is cookie cutter and filled with fluff that will never serve you. It's time for you to stop doing things that aren't moving your business forward. I will help you develop an actionable, focused plan to grow your business in a way that lights you up. Contact me today at peaktoprofit.com to get started on your business growth roadmap.
Hey, welcome back to Biz TV. I'm your host and business guide, Michael Rager. Hey, ready to go and climb the peak to profits? We got our good friend Jennifer Drago. She's going to come in and talk to us about how to get the most out of your employees and keep them motivated so everybody can be successful. Take it away, Jen.
Welcome to Peak to Profit, where each week we share practical and tactical guidance to help you lead a profitable business. I'm Jennifer Drago, award-winning strategist and business coach. I help businesses develop a laser-focused strategy and roadmap for business growth so that they can earn more, work fewer hours, and amplify the impact they have in the world. Today I want to talk about an issue that affects every single business. How do you motivate and keep your employees engaged so that you can retain them and continue to serve your customers in the best way possible? A recent Gallup poll shows that only 33% of employees are engaged in their workplace. This has huge implications for the labor market, with an estimated $960 billion, that's billion with a B, wasted each year due to disengagement and lost productivity. We've kind of coined this term quiet quitting, and this is what we're talking about, is disengaged, unmotivated employees. So many factors have changed in the post-pandemic world. On the positive side, for many businesses, the pandemic showed us that we could source labor from anywhere in the world. And in many cases, remote or virtual workers provide a great source of labor. The downside is that it becomes harder to keep these employees engaged in the company and its success, and sometimes it can be difficult to motivate them when they work remotely. And there are certain jobs that obviously require a physical presence in the workplace in order to serve customers. With the current labor shortage, it is easier than ever for employees to move from job to job for more money or perceived better working conditions. If you're managing a hybrid workforce, meaning you have both remote and on-site employees, you may deal with the on-site employees feeling discouraged or somewhat jealous of the employees who get to work from home. You may also have a hard time creating a feeling of teamwork or a team environment when you have a hybrid situation. As a leader, you must figure out how to monitor and address each of these circumstances in a manner that keeps your employees involved, engaged, and motivated so that you can retain them and so that they will provide the very best service to your clients and customers. Here are some ways found in literature to keep your employee motivation and engagement high. You will notice that most of these tips focus on effective communication first and foremost, because this is always the very best way to boost motivation of your direct reports. First, you want to keep the mission, vision, and the company's annual goals front and center. You want to keep them in the vision of the staff. And so when you have staff meeting, which you're hopefully doing at least weekly, you want to be sure that you reference your company's mission and your company's mission. And this can be done effectively, but through a mission moment, which is a storytelling practice where you tell a client or customer service that demonstrates how you meet the mission of the company every single day. You want to also discuss the company's vision, that's where you're headed, and the annual goals, because it keeps that front of mind for your employees while also role modeling to them that goals are so important to their leaders that you want to talk about them, so they should pay attention to them too. Next, you should recognize a job well done. Nothing is more motivating to your employees than a positive message about their performance or their contribution to the work of the company. Doing this frequently will help them feel valued and boost their morale. And research shows that managers and leaders think that they provide positive feedback way more than they do, and that it's very far and few between that. And many employees get positive feedback. So over-communicate your appreciation and that positive feedback. Next, you want to allow your employees to have as much autonomy in their work as possible. Research shows that employees who experience higher levels of workplace autonomy report higher levels of job-related well-being. So, can you be flexible about where and when their work takes place? Can you be flexible on their schedule? And can they dictate the order in which the tasks are completed? Maybe not in all cases, but the more that the employee has control of in their work environment, the better. And of course, you want to be getting the results that you need, and it may take some extra communication to agree upon shared expectations at the outset of this process, but allowing your employees some additional autonomy can pay huge dividends. Next, you also want to include your employees in goal setting for their department, or if you are a smaller company, let them participate in goal setting for the company. Your employees have amazing insight about your company, about which processes work and which processes need to be improved. When you engage them in this discussion, it improves their engagement, but they also gain greater clarity about what the organization needs to do and why. This is according to the Employee Engagement Research Update. The alignment that this process can bring has a positive impact on employee engagement and their motivation. Next, you can facilitate respectful relationships, and this one is really important. So if you're multitasking, come back to me and make sure you hear this part. According to a survey of 20,000 working professionals, employees valued the ability to demonstrate respect as the most important leadership behavior. Those who felt respected by leadership were 55% more engaged than those who did not feel respected. Unfortunately, for most organizations, 54% of respondents reported that they do not feel respected by their leadership. Small steps can have a big impact in this area. Respecting your employees involves getting to know them and listening to them, and that is usually done through one-on-one meetings. By sending them personal emails, asking for their input on a regular basis, giving them feedback, and resolving any conflicts that may occur that get in the way of them doing their job. One of the best ways to show that you value employees is by expressing genuine care about their lives and well-being beyond what they are producing at work. This is even more difficult when your employees are remote, requiring you as a leader to have intentional conversations. One last thing that you can do is to rethink your performance review process. Approximately 91% of organizations report that they have a formal review process. In smaller companies, that number is much less. However, according to Gallup, only 14% of employees strongly agree that their performance reviews inspire them to improve. One of the easiest things that you can do in your organization to improve engagement in this area is to do quarterly check-ins with your employees. Don't wait a year to give feedback. It's far too long. and it's too important to your employees. They want to know that they are doing a good job, so let them know frequently and at least quarterly. In summary, motivating and engaging your employees in these ways takes discipline, intention, and practice, but it is well worth the effort if you can engage and retain your key employees. Your action takeaway today is to consider which of these actions you will implement and when. You will likely need to set aside time each week to work on these elements, but don't skip this step. You know that if it's not scheduled, it will not get done, and this is too important. I hope that you've been inspired today to improve how you lead and inspire your teams. It will pay huge dividends in your company. I will see you next week. Bye for now.
Hey Jen, that was some great information. Thanks a lot. The most important thing is keeping your employees happy. Happy employees equal happy customers. Happy customers means more profit for you, the business owner. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide, here with Biz Talk TV on Now Media. Hope to see you back here in just a minute.
Hi, I'm Dave Smith, professional organizing and productivity consultant, speaker, and author. Do you want to improve your productivity and organizational flow? Whether it's your commercial office space, inventory warehouse, restaurant, or home, we have simple organizing solutions to help you increase your efficiency and productivity so that you can be more present, productive, and profitable. Let me take your business to the next level with simple organizing solutions. As a professional organizer for more than 15 years, when it comes to organization, I bring the know-how, information, and tools to put to use in both your professional and personal life. Busy entrepreneurs such as yourself should focus on generating money, tackling new business opportunities, and enjoying life to the fullest, not on organizing anything that slows you down. Let me help you transition from clutter and chaos to simple and organized. Call me today at 281-609-9986 or set up a consultation at simplicitybyday.com.
Buying and/or selling a home is one of the largest financial and personal commitments you will make. It is a crucial step that will have a huge impact on you and your loved ones. Choosing to enter into a real estate transaction without an experienced realtor by your side can result in heartache, frustration, and potentially leaving a substantial amount of money on the table. Hi, I'm David Floyd with DaveSellsHomes.com, and I have been actively working with buyers and sellers for 29 plus years. When selling, I perform a thorough market analysis, assist in staging, and provide a first-class virtual tour that includes professional photography. My proven marketing strategy will assist in getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. When buying, I find out what's important to you and your family, what features you would like in your new home. I stay current on market trends, pricing, and industry standards to make sure that my clients get the home that they desire and that their expectations are exceeded throughout the process. I have the right team, knowledge, and experience to assist with all your real estate needs. If you're considering buying or selling, or would just like to visit about real estate, give me a call.
Hey, welcome back to NowMedia.tv and Biz Talk TV. I'm your host and business guide, Michael Rager. We're ready to learn some new bookkeeping tips from our resident bookkeeper, Kristen Gunderson. Hey, Kristen, take it away.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on the Biz Talk Show today. I am Kristen Gunderson, the CEO of Gunderson's Bookkeeping. I'm here to get all of your bookkeeping and tax questions answered. So today's question is kind of a broad one. What other bookkeeping tips do you have for us? So I have 3 tips I'm going to go ahead and share with y'all today. So the first one is be able to differentiate your spending categories. So for example, like if you are spending money on advertising or if you're spending money on insurance, like make sure that you're able to calculate like how much money you're spending on advertising for the month and for the year, and how much money you're spending on insurance for the month and for the year, and how much money you're spending on office supplies or cost of goods sold, insurance, vehicle and fuel, bookkeeping, like how much money are you spending on all of these items? And the best way to be able to do that, like there's a few different ways. One is if you're just getting going and you don't really have the funds to spend it on an accounting software, at least start in an Excel spreadsheet. And every time you spend money, just go ahead and do a line item, put, okay, I spent $500 today on advertising, and I spent $100 on fuel, and went out had some meals and entertainment, spent $50, taken client A out to lunch today, and just go ahead and categorize every single line item of where you were, how much you spent, what the date was, and what category. So category is like advertising, meals, entertainment, fuel. That's what I mean by categorize. That way you can sort it on an Excel spreadsheet of how much money you're spending on each one of those categories. Now, if you are using an accounting software, this makes it even easier, because when you put in that expense, you can go ahead and put, okay, went to the Shell today and spent $50 on gas. I mean, it's automatically going to categorize that you can run a profit and loss. And you can easily see how much money you're spending for the month in each one of those categories, and it's in alphabetical order. So that is my number one tip. Just make sure that you're getting in there and you're categorizing everything correctly. A lot of times I will get an Excel spreadsheet from someone who's doing their own bookkeeping, but they need their taxes done. And it just says, on 1/15, I spent $50 at Shell. Well, if it's Shell, I know it's gas. But if it's ABC vendor, I don't know what ABC vendor does. So that's why having that category of, ABC vendor is really cost of goods sold or job supplies, whatever it is, like that way we know, because we need to have things categorized in order to put it on your tax return. So just having the blanket expenses doesn't really help. It needs to also have a category of what that expense is, because we don't know everything. The next tip that I have for you is you need to be able to organize and store your financial records. And this is really important. You should have all of your copies of your receipts for at least a minimum of 3 years. And you need this for tax purposes, audit purposes, obviously. But you want to keep them organized so you can easily find them. So if you're old school still and want to keep paper copies of all of your receipts, you can do that. But make sure you buy the file folders and the file cabinet to go with it, and maybe you don't have a lot of transactions by month and you just want to be able to throw everything into the month of January, the month of February, whatever month that transaction happened, just have a file folder for that month and throw it in there. All of your income, customer deposits, all of your expenses, and keep track of it that way. If you want to know by vendor, you could keep track of it by having a file folder for each vendor. Say you go to the Shell gas station a lot and you want to keep all those expenses in one folder, just having a vendor folder for Shell or for ABC vendor and for DFE vendor, like just keep them by vendor. So however you want to keep it organized, that will best work for you. That's what I recommend doing. I've seen it both ways. It just depends on how you like to organize your stuff, like how it will be easier for you to be able to find it in case you do need to look it up. And then you can have the same thing for your customers, have it by customers or by vendors. That also works. Now, if you are more into the whatever today is, the 21st century, you can actually have everything digitalized. That's what we have been doing for at least the last 5 years, is every receipt that we have that comes in the door, my receptionist scans it for us, and then we have a digital copy of it, and we keep it for about a year in paper copy just in case we find that it didn't scan like we thought it did, and then we go ahead and shred it afterwards because we still have that electronic copy. I personally use a company called Smart Vault, and that is where I have all of my receipts saved. They're all saved. by month, but they're named by the vendor and the dollar amount and the date, so they're easily to find. So say I'm looking for, I saw that I spent a check for $500, but I forgot to put it into my accounting software. I can easily go and search for my invoices and search in there for $500, and it'll pop up and I can be like, oh yeah, it was ABC vendor. So I can correctly categorize it in my software. So having them electronically works great too. And actually, if you are with an accounting software that is an online one, like say QuickBooks Online or Xero, I know those are both ones that our company uses. They have apps where you can literally, with your cell phone, go ahead and snap a picture of that receipt, and then you can attach it into the expense in the platform. And then whenever you go to look up that expense, like, oh, I spent $50, what was this $50 on? The receipt is attached, and you can later bring it up and you're like, oh yeah, that was a gift I bought for Bobby Joe, my favorite customer. So you can easily see that. So that is something I highly recommend, because once it's scanned and it's saved and you have a system that backs it up, you don't need to keep those shoe boxes of receipts anymore. So that makes it a lot easier. So get organized and store your financial records. Another thing I'll tell you, like for receipts, it is really important to be keeping them. A lot of people will be like, well, you don't really need to keep it if it's under $75, because you just don't. But I tell my clients to keep it anyways, especially at least scan it and keep it, because when you get audited by the IRS, it's not a matter of if, it's kind of like when down the line are you going to get audited? They'll be looking for, especially meals and entertainment. On those meal receipts, you need to write, not only does it have to have where you were, which it should have on the receipt, how much you spent and the date, you also need to write on there who you were eating with. So maybe you were taking out your employees for lunch and you were discussing business. You need to write who was there and what business was discussed. If you're taking out a client, maybe it's a reoccurring client and you're just like, hey, let's go meet for breakfast or lunch. Put the client's name and what you guys discuss. If it's a prospect, like you're hoping that this person will turn into a client, if you take them out to dinner or take them to whatever entertainment, like maybe to the golf course or something, you need to put on that receipt, again, their name, what was discussed, and then if they turned into a client. The IRS wants to know that too, if they turned into a client. Say you're going to Walmart or Home Depot, like you're going to one of these places and you can actually take cash out if you're using your debit card. The IRS also looks for those types of receipts too, because they want to be like, oh, they went to Walmart. And I know I've talked about this before, but was this a personal or was this a business expense? Are they buying groceries at Walmart and then they took cash out and then they're trying to hide it in their business by writing it off? Or did they really, like, they bought office supplies, like, oh, this is paper and ink, and like, okay, this is legit office supplies, they bought this from Walmart. The other thing they're looking for is if you took any cash back. So if you took out, say you had a $100 bill from Walmart that you spent and 80 of it was on office supplies, but then you took $20 out for cash, like, you know, did that money go into petty cash? Or, you know, if they can't locate where that money went that they took out, and the IRS is looking at it, they're going to code that $20 to an owner's draw, and then you only will be able to write off $80. So that's why it's so important to be keeping those receipts, because you want to be able to prove that everything that you spent in your business is actual business expenses. So that's why you really need to be organized. Okay, the last tip that I can have for you, and it's a really simple one, is get into a habit, financial habit, get into a good financial habit of doing your bookkeeping, at least weekly. Say, put it on your calendar every week for the first hour, half an hour that you're at work. Make sure that you're doing your bank feeds if you're on like QuickBooks Online or Xero, doing those bank feeds. You're cutting any bills that need to be paid out to your vendors. You're doing payroll. So get into that financial habit of at least weekly, getting that on the calendar. Or maybe if you do have an accounting software that has bank feeds, you're getting in there for 30 minutes every morning, just seeing what cleared the bank yesterday. and getting that into your books. And that way you can easily see the trends in your business, catch them before it happens, or say there's fraud on your business. Like if you don't look at your bank statements until like the month after they come out or quarterly, you're not going to be able to catch that stuff. So if you're getting in at least weekly, maybe every day to look at your bookkeeping and accounting, you are going to be in good shape. You're going to be able to make those better business decisions to be able to grow your business, which is what everyone wants. They want to be able to grow their business because that means more freedom for y'all, more money in your pocket. So I hope that these were some great bookkeeping tips for you today. Again, we talked about how to differentiate your spending, how to keep yourself organized, and creating a good financial habit. All of these things will help you to be able to grow your business. If you have any questions about anything that we talked about today, I would love to be able to talk to you. And the easiest way is you can actually text the word HELP, H-E-L-P, to 855-798-3350. And we can get back with you. It'll send you directly to our website by texting HELP to 855-798-3350. Or you can go to our website, www.gunnarsonsbookkeeping.com, or social media on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram at Gunnarsons Bookkeeping. Thank you again for having me on the Biz Talk Show today.
That was some great information, Kristen. And I know the one tip I need to take is doing my bookkeeping weekly. I'm awful at that, especially when I got to do 52 weeks of bookkeeping in one day before my taxes are due. So I want to go ahead and do that. So thanks a lot for that information. And we're going to be right back with more Biz Talk TV right after this.
If you've had the same insurance agent for years, when's the last time you got a second opinion? At GGC Group, we offer second opinions on your coverage. Why? We like finding you more value for the money you're investing, making sure you have the right plan for the best coverage, meeting all your needs. Plus, we offer a convenient, easy enrollment process. Learn more. ggcgroupcorp.com or call now.
I was recently asked what it means to be a family lawyer. What is family law? Family law is not just about divorce or custody or child support. Family law is about your life. As a family lawyer, I protect your children, your wealth, your future. I don't do this alone. As your attorney, we work as a team to determine your goals and priorities and provide a strategy in an often complex, painful, and confusing time. Whether it's asset protection through pre- or post-marital agreements, or fighting to protect your children, I'm here to help. My team and I bring decades of combined experience to support you and your family in all aspects of family and wealth planning, from estate and legacy planning, to divorce and child custody issues, to representation in complex litigation cases. Take a decisive step. We're here when you're ready. Remember, it's about your life.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your host, Michael Rager, the business guide. And we're going to go over to Dave Smith, and Dave's going to teach us how organizing our life and organizing our business increases profits. Take it away, Dave.
Hi, my name is Dave Smith, and I'm the owner and founder of Simplicity by Day. Thanks for having me on Biz Talk with Sherman. And today, I have two very special guests to talk to the business owners out there who sometimes feel overwhelmed and stressed and have anxiety around managing through their business. We've talked a lot about being organized and productive, but sometimes not having that causes us to feel stressed and feel that we may need some support. So today I have two special guests who I truly adore. They are the founders and CEOs of Embody Coaching. They help business owners and professionals and individuals manage through life and really take a deep dive into what shows up that causes anxiety and stress. And they have been such a blessing to me as a business owner. I'm sure they will be to you. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce to you Andrea Alexander and Carrie Muchal. Thank you, ladies, for joining us today.
Thank you, Day.
Thank you
So
for having
Andrea
us.
is in studio with me, and as you can see, Carrie has a much different background. She's out vacationing with her family, but I'm so happy to have these ladies on the show. So I'm gonna give them the floor and give them an opportunity to talk more about what they do and how they serve business owners.
Awesome, thank you. So Carrie and I have been business partners together for about a year and a half, and we are anxiety experts and coaches. And what we have we play in consciousness, quantum physics, that mindset, reframing what our limiting beliefs and patterns are. And we've been doing this with individuals and in group classes as well. And what people tend to believe that work is something separate from home and life. And the truth is that anxiety is created in something that happened to us when we are between the ages of 0 and 7, which is when we take in every single experience that we have in life as the truth. And so we spend the rest of our lives actually running these patterns again and again and again. And what's really funny and interesting to me is that people will be drawn to types of work or types of companies that serve their patterns. One of the things that we say is what we do here in life is what we're here to do in our own lives. And so Carrie and I have, in my past, I was a chef, and so I'm here to remember how to feed me in a completely new and different way.
Love it.
And Carrie can share hers, and so what we've done is found ways that serve clients one-to-one and that also translate into how we can support businesses and their staff in finding commonality and creating a corporate culture that actually serves the organization as a whole.
Great. I love that. I love that you talk about patterns, because I think a lot of times we do fall into the same patterns in how we do things and the decisions that we make. So the fact that you're addressing that, I think that really does serve the business owners and individuals as well. And then Carrie, you want to share a little bit about yourself and add on to maybe what Andrea said, how you serve others?
Yes, and I owned, one of the things, I formerly owned a yoga studio for 9 years. And so I did run that, a business with a full staff and the computer systems and all the clients and thousands of clients. And one of the things that, and this is how I came into this movement, was actually through the studio and coming into the job that I currently have. But one of the things that I remember that is so important is, as a business owner, we feel as though we may wear a lot of different hats. I mean, how many times do you say, I wear a lot of different hats? Here I'm the boss, now I'm the friend, then I'm the this, then I'm the that. And what Andrea and I are now aware of is there is no difference. And that's one of the things that we support businesses in putting down, is the belief that you wear all of these different hats. Because in fact, you may have different job titles that you call yourself, but you are the exact same person. And what is actually stressing us out is trying to be all those people.
Wow.
When in fact, we can be one person, and we can find our patterns and transform them. And it will go all the way across how everything. We don't require the how-to books. We don't require learning, how will I be a better boss? It's when we step into ourselves, we'll find our own patterns. And my first one was pushing through. And I realized that I was pushing to get things done, and I was pushing. And when I actually put that down and realized that I could just empower ease in me simply by saying, I give myself permission to choose ease, I began to find, all on my own, a new, easy way of managing my staff, of being with my people, of being with my family at home, and it all worked across the board. So it's very massive that we come into the fact that we are one person, and we can find the pattern there, and everything else will magically land. It's very different than what the world has seen before.
Yeah.
And as a person that has experienced it, is powerful.
Yeah, very different.
What Carrie and I have been speaking into is that one of the things that we're doing here is we are resurrecting being in business in a completely new and different way. We were taught that we had to push through, that if we weren't busy doing all the time, that the more we showed up at work, the longer we worked, the harder we worked, the more valuable and important and productive that we are. And the truth is we're running on fumes. And instead of giving ourselves the opportunity to rest, revive, rejuvenate, so that we can be with the people whether it's at home or in our businesses, at our jobs, our families, and all of these things, because we're giving from a place of depletion and we're operating from a place of depletion. And I had this experience the other day where Carrie was like, let's collapse this on Friday. And I was like, oh my God, what happens if we don't show up? Our business is going to fail. And that's what we were taught. And it's okay for us to choose to have things in a completely different way, to be at ease. And then when we step back into whatever it is that we do, we bring a new level of energy. We bring a new level of presence. And whether we're doing it with work or we're doing it at home, we are here to fill up our own cup first. And imagine the planet believing that rest, relaxation, and rejuvenation is a way of life, so that we can do and be the types of people that we are here meant to be. And I remember coming from corporate America when I discovered that I could do everything my company was asking me to do with 30% of the energy.
Wow.
Everything else that I was trying to get done was stuff that I made up so that I could be busy, so that I didn't have to, so that I looked like I was doing something different. And it was fluff and stressful. And I loved closing my computer at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I found that it served me greatly.
Yeah. You ladies really are speaking to a lot of business owners, because we're in this cycle of just doing and feeling like achievement and accomplishment is the definition of our success. How many things can we get done a day? If you're not hustling, are you really working? Are you really a great CEO if you're not hustling? But that isn't serving us. So my question is, like you said, this is a new way of thinking. I really believe this is like breaking the mold, right, for business owners. If you are a business owner and you decide that you're going to take the path of ease, that you're going to fill your cup first, but you're the first to do it in your business, in your culture, have you had to walk a business owner or individual through on how to lead that and how to get support from others who may not be used to that type of work-life balance?
Yes, we have, and I'm going to ask Carrie to speak into that.
Okay.
Well, I was just going to speak into the fact that, yes, what we do is we do it in ourselves, and then when we're speaking about our whole staff, what happens is they rise to you and they are going to do things right as you are, and everything falls in place very naturally. It all comes in very naturally and organically. And if you have an employee that somehow is yet to come in to where you are, when you stay in what you are doing, they will dissipate. And what happens with that is when they dissipate, someone who desires to be there will show up. And that's what I found. And the other thing I found is that with employees, if you have one employee that's yet to rise to the energy that you are now shifting into, we sit with people and empower them to write down everything about the employee that they believe is yet to work, or they're yet to move forward, or what is it, or they don't show up on time, or they snarl, or they do that. Write it all down, and then we ask that you find where you're doing that exact same thing, because it's still acting inside of you, or you wouldn't even be aware that they were doing it. And then what happens is, once again, this person either rises or they dissipate. Either way, you're getting your miracle without you having to sit there and, as we say, clean house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're cleaning your own house. You're cleaning your own house, and they're rising to the energy, or they dissipate, which gives you great ease because they walked on their own, and someone else rises right into the spot.
Got it. Andrea?
Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for us. And rather than expending our energy on trying to get people to do something different, to behave differently, life is a mirror for the things that we are here to do in ourselves. And when we can either, what Carrie and I will say is, you can look in the mirror, and if you see a smudge, do you wipe off the mirror or do you wipe off the smudge on you?
Yeah.
And you have taken classes with us, and you've had the experience of, when we do it in ourselves, what happens?
It shows up in our lives. And so that is very empowering, because you're not trying to change others, because that is nearly impossible.
It's futile.
It's futile. You're just working on yourself. So that is empowering to know, if I do the work here, it will show up. So thank you for that. I also want to ask, we don't live in silos, and you mentioned this, Andrea, the business owner challenges and work to be done is the same work that needs to happen with the individual in home. And so I want to just encourage people that are listening that, yes, we're talking about business, but these practices, the way you play with the words and how you show up, is going to actually work at home as well, as Andrea mentioned. So one more thing I want to ask you ladies before we kind of close out is, someone who is listening to this and is really inspired to become more of what you ladies are talking about, to show up for yourself, to live in ease, what tips or tools would you give them to start along that journey?
Listen to us.
How can we do that?
So Carrie and I have a couple of different podcasts that we do. We're on Clubhouse, which is a phone app only. It's called Your Word is Your Wand, and it's live. We do Monday and Friday mornings at 8 o'clock to 8:30, and you can jump in and be on stage with us if you choose. That's also a recording. And then we have a video podcast that we do on Wednesday mornings that can be seen through the Embodied Coaches, which is there on Facebook. And I empower people to begin to listen to what they say, because what Carrie and I really play with is the power of our words. And there's so much science today with neuroplasticity and mind setting, and people are speaking about a lot of things that are support us in coping. And what Carrie and I do is we find the limiting pattern through what people's words are. So for example, if somebody and I said, how are you today? Well, I don't feel good. Where did you leave your body? When was the first time you didn't feel? What happened? And this feels really scary, and yet it's what's holding all of the things that we have yet to love in life. And so by listening to the things that we have done, that is a great place to start. And then Carrie and I also offer we gift a discovery call for people to find out where they are, to play a little bit with us, to see what it's like. And then if you're full on, you can jump into one of our classes. Then one that we have coming up next is we are playing with recoding how our money is wired.
Wow.
And so the energy, how we feel about love is how we feel about money. So we may have had love leaving, we may have had money running out, we may have been cheated on. And so we're going to play with what you heard. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. And so these limiting beliefs of how we were raised with money, that's one aspect. And then the second aspect is health and wealth are closely connected. So how we are with our health is how we are with our wealth. And what my experience has been, that every time I continue to jump in on caring for me, my body, and transforming myself, is I see my wealth expand.
Oh, wow.
And so what we are going to do, we support people in understanding what their pattern is, of becoming aware. And rather than just how to be with it, it's what it turns into. What are you here to raise? We say our greatest weakness shall be our greatest strength. And we're here on this planet as with a divine blueprint to remember love, ease, pleasure, joy, and great abundance.
Love, ease, pleasure, joy, and great abundance.
Abundance is beautiful.
Love those. All right. Well, I think we are at our time, ladies. I want to thank you again for joining me on this segment on Biz Talk with Sherman. It has been such a pleasure hearing from you all, as always.
Thank you.
As you can tell, what they share it can be transformational, really. It has been in my life, and I encourage anyone who's looking for that type of transformation to connect with Andrea and Carrie at Embody Coaching. And join in on Clubhouse or however you need to connect with them to be fed, really be fed and learn how you can embrace some of these teachings